Good morning, children. This video is for anyone who is working in the Obelisk group. Today you're going to be reading and writing decimal numbers as fractions. If we look at this question we've got here, it says shade 0.4 in the 100 square, and then we need to write as a fraction. I've got a 100 square here, and I've got a bar model with 10 squares. I'm going to use this to help us understand how to shade 0.4 in the 100 square. The first part we're going to do is I'm going to take this number here and I'm going to write it using a place value chart. So we know we've got 0.4. So we've got our ones column and our tenths column. And I'm also going to add a hundredths. And the reason why is because we're using a 100 square. Now we're going to write this number 0.4 into our place value chart. So the 0 goes in the ones, we put the decimal point, and we put 4 tenths. Now if we were to draw this, add this to our bar model here, we need to colour in 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. This shows that there are 4 parts out of 10 that are shaded in. That is also known as 0.4 and 4 tenths. Now, if we put a 0 in the hundredths column, this now says 0.40. And now we can colour in, shade in 40 squares on our 100 square. So I'm going to quickly do that. So we know that from our previous lesson that each row, or in this case column, are in blocks of 10. So that's 10. 20. 30, and 40. Now we've got 40 out of 100 squares shaded in. And if we notice between these two pictures that we've got, the same amount is shaded in terms of that, the same amount of columns. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But the difference is that this is 100 square and this is just a bar model with 10 squares in it. So we need to write this as a fraction. So we've got 40 parts shaded in as our numerator, and because our whole is out of 100, our denominator is 100. Now 4 tenths is the same as 40 hundredths. If I was to write 4 tenths here and 40 hundredths here, if we multiply a denominator by a number to get another denominator, and in this case we multiply 10 by 10, whatever we do to the denominator we must do to the numerator. So 4 times 10 equals 40. So because we've multiplied them by the same number, 4 tenths is the same as 40 hundredths. Now we're going to look at some questions on this part here. So it's going to convert these decimal fractions to fractions. So it's really crucial that when we're looking at these numbers, that we're identifying by using our place value chart what values we have. So we've got 0 in our ones column. We have 2 tenths and 7 hundredths. Now, because we've got a value in our hundredths column, we know our fraction is going to be out of 100. and then we take this part of the number here, the 2 and the 7, and this is how many parts out of 100 we've got. So we've got 27 hundredths. If we take this number here, we've got ones and we've only got tenths. So we know our fraction is going to be out of 10. And our value in a tenth is 6 tenths. If we were to do the opposite, and we are to convert these fractions into decimal fractions, we want to identify what is the value of the denominator first. So it says here we've got tenths. It's out of tenths. So we need to draw our place value chart with just tenths. Because there is no whole number, it is a part of a whole number, we're going to have 0 in our ones column. And we're going to take the numerator, which is 9 in this case, and put that in our tenths column. If we look at this fraction here, we've got 72 hundredths. Because we've got our fraction is out of 100ths, we need to make sure our place value chart includes ones, tenths and hundredths. Again, there are no whole numbers. This numerator is a part of the whole number here, which is 100 in the denominators part of the fraction. We don't forget to put the decimal point. And as I've mentioned before in previous videos, you cannot have two digits in one place value column. So we put the 2 in the hundredths and the 7 in the tenths. That concludes your video for today's learning. Please rewatch it as many times as you want. Pause it at certain parts when you're doing the worksheets to go back over it. Best of luck.